I know what it looks like right now. I know the math doesn't add up from where you're standing. Every door you tried came back with nothing. Every plan you built came back demanding something you don't have left to give. And the tide has moved past the body to the place where hope used to live. I see it, and I need you to hear what I'm about to say. The chapter you are in is not the chapter that defines you. The season that is breaking you right now is not the season that will find you at the end of everything. Because there is no end yet. The pen is still moving, the story is still being written, and the author doesn't stop mid-sentence. When the sentence gets hard, he finishes what he starts. Every single time you are not at the end. I know it feels like the end, but the feeling has been wrong before. Remember when you were certain you wouldn't make it through that other thing? You're still here. That means the story isn't finished yet. Your story isn't over. Not while you're still breathing. Your story isn't over. Not while grace is still achieving what it set out to do in you before you understood the plan. Your story isn't over. You don't have to understand. Just keep going. Your story isn't over. Joseph sat in a prison that had no visible exit on any wall, and the dream God gave him looked like the most impossible thing of all. But the prison was not the destination. It was the corridor to something he couldn't see. And what looked like the story ending was the story clearing space for what it was always meant to be. Your prison is a corridor, not a conclusion. I need you to pick yourself up one more time. Not because everything is fine, because everything being wrong has never once been the last word. Not in your life, not in his hands. The God who spoke the world from nothing speaks into the nothing you are standing in right now. And what he speaks becomes something. It always becomes something. So lift your head, not because the answer came, because the one who has the answer is still writing. And he does not write stories that end in the middle, end in the middle. Just keep going. One more day, one more step. The story isn't over. Your story isn't over. Not by a long way, not today. Your story isn't over. There is still so much left to say. The hardest chapter is not the final chapter. The author writes redemption in the end. Your story isn't over. Keep going. Let him finish what he began. Your story isn't over, isn't over, isn't over, isn't over. It isn't over. Still here, still breathing, still his. That means the story isn't finished, not even close. Keep going. The best chapters are still being written. Keep going. Your story isn't over. isn't over. I can see it in the way you're carrying yourself, the kind of weight that doesn't show up on the outside right away, the kind that gets into the posture in the eyes, the kind that makes the morning feel like the end of a long day. And I'm not going to pretend it isn't heavy. I'm not gonna tell you just to push through and be strong, but I need you to hear the difference between the kind of tired that needs rest and the kind that says give up and move along. Elijah sat beneath the tree and said enough. Said, Lord, just let me go, I have nothing left to give. And God didn't rebuke him for the asking, didn't question if he really wanted to live. He sent an angel with some bread and water, said the journey is too great, you need to eat and sleep. He met the exhaustion with provision, not a lecture, not a sermon, just the grace to help him back up on his feet. Oh, that's what tired looks like in the scripture. And tired was not the end of Elijah's story. Tired ain't the same as done. Oh, yeah. There is a rest that is not quitting. There is a stopping that is not giving up. There is a season of recovery that is not the same as falling. It is the filling back up. Know the difference. Rest if you need to, but don't confuse the rest with the end. Tired ain't the same as done. Exhausted ain't the same as finished. The fact that you are worn down to the bone just means you've been in it. God meets the weary where they are. He doesn't ask for what you don't have left. Tired ain't the same as done. Rest if you need to, but don't you dare quit yet. Tired ain't the same as done. Between a season and a sign. A season says I need to stop and breathe for just a while. A sign says something's over and it's time to walk away. And only you and God know which one you're standing in right now. But if the only reason you are thinking about quitting is the way to where you are and not the direction you are called, then what you need is water and a moment in the quiet. Not a different story, not a different road at all. God has never once looked at his weary ones and said you should have been stronger than this. He has never turned away the ones who came to him with empty. That is not who he is. He takes the empty and he feels it. He takes the broken and he holds it whole. He takes the tired and he speaks to it the same way he spoke to that tired prophet underneath that tree alone. 'cause he said the journey still had somewhere left to go.
Tired ain't the same as done.
Worn out ain't the same as walking away. The weariness you're carrying right now is not the final thing that gets to have a say. God meets the tired with provision,
Bread and water for the road ahead.
tired ain't the same as done. Rest now if you need to, but don't you call it finished yet. Tired ain't the same as done. Not even close, not today. I marked the calendar so many times. I stopped marking it a while ago. Prayed the same prayer in so many different seasons that the words have started sounding like an echo. And the people around me got their answers. Watched their doors swing open one by one. And I stood there with my hand still on the handle of a door that hasn't moved since I begun. And the enemy has been very loud about it. Says the silence means he never really heard. Says the waiting is the answer, and the answer is a no. Says to let it go and take him at his word. But I have learned to check the source of what I'm hearing, and a liar doesn't get to write my theology. A delay has never once meant God stopped moving. It means he's moving differently than I can see. There is a difference between a closed door and a door whose time has not arrived yet. One is a no, the other is a not yet, and not yet is not the same as never. Not in his hands, not ever.
Delayed is not denied.
The waiting is not the answer.
Delayed is not
Delayed is not denied.
denied.
His timing is not our calendar. Oh, what hasn't come yet
Hasn't come yet for a reason,
and the reason is still working.
even when the working can't be seen.
Delayed is not denied. Hold on, it's not a no. Hold on. Lazarus was 4 days in the grave before the one who loved him showed his face. And everyone who saw it called it too late, called it past the point of any kind of grace. But Jesus didn't rush because of public opinion. Didn't change his timing for the crowd outside. He arrived exactly when he planned to, and what looked like too late became the most impossible sign. Your situation has not passed the point of grace. It hasn't. I know the waiting has been teaching you things you didn't sign up to learn. Patience that doesn't come from a book, the kind that comes from sitting in the fire long enough to know it isn't consuming you. Faith that doesn't need the evidence to hold because it held through seasons. Yeah, where the evidence said otherwise. punishment. The delay is preparation. And when it comes, and it will come, you will understand why it needed to be then and not before. Hold on.
Delayed is not denied.
Not in the hands of the one who holds time.
Delayed is not denied.
Delayed is not denied. His yes is still a yes, even when it takes a while. The promise that he made you is still a promise, still intact.
Still his.
Delayed is not denied. What he said he would do,
He will do.
he always does.
Hold on.
Delayed is not denied. Still waiting. So was Abraham,
So was Hannah.
so was Joseph. Every single one
Receive what was promised.
in his time, right on time.
Hold on.
Delayed is not denied.
Not for you.
Not ever.
Hold on.
I know what the loss felt like when it landed. I know how it rearranged the furniture of everything. The plan you built around it, the identity you wore inside of it, the version of yourself that came with it is now a memory. And standing in the after feels like standing in a room where all the walls have changed and nothing is where it used to be. I understand the way the grief can dress itself up as conclusion, can make the loss of one thing feel like the loss of everything, can whisper that the chapter ending means the book is closing, that what you had was who you were, and who you were is gone. But grief has never been a reliable narrator, and loss has never had the authority to write what comes next. You lost the thing. You didn't lose the calling. You lost the season. You didn't lose the reason. You lost what was in your hands. You didn't lose the hands. And the God who placed the purpose in you placed it deeper than anything that can be taken.
You didn't lose your purpose.
You lost a vehicle that carried it for a while.
You didn't lose your calling.
You lost a chapter, not the whole of the storyline. God doesn't place his purpose in the things that can be taken from your hands. He plants it in the soul, and the soul is still here.
Still here.
Still purpose.
You didn't
lose your purpose. Job lost, everything in a single day. Family, wealth, health, the life he recognized, and the purpose God had placed inside of him. Survived every single loss without compromise. Because purpose isn't housed in the external and the visible. It isn't in the title or the role or the address. It is in the character that forms through the losing and the staying. And Job came out of it with more than he went in. The losing wasn't the ending, it was the making. What if the loss was not the removal of your purpose, but the redirecting of it? What if what you're grieving was a container God is preparing a larger one? What if the closing of that door had nothing to do with your value and everything to do with where He is taking you next? The loss is real. I am not minimizing the loss, but the loss does not get to speak over the purpose. Only God speaks over the purpose. And what He said about you before you lost a single thing, He still means every word of it. Still means it. You didn't lose your purpose, you just lost your way to it for a little while. He knows the way back, He always does. You didn't lose your purpose. It's still in you, still alive, still real. You didn't lose your calling. You didn't lose your calling. The loss just changed the way it's going to feel. God doesn't waste the broken seasons. He builds the most important things in them. You didn't lose your purpose. Stand up, stand up, still in you. Stand up. It was never in the thing you lost. It was always in you. Loss was real. Grieve it, but don't bury your purpose with it. They are not the same thing. What you lost and who you are not the same thing. Stand up. The purpose is still here. Never left. Stand up. Stand up. I won't pretend this season has been easy. Won't dress it up in language it doesn't deserve. The days have been the kind that test the patience, the kind that push you right up to the nerve. And every morning that you made it out of bed, when staying would have been the easier call, that took something I don't think you're giving yourself credit for at all. Hard days have a way of lying to you, telling you the heart is all there is and all there'll be. Building walls around the moment you are standing in and calling it eternity. But I have never found a season that did not eventually give way to the next. And the next one always looked different from the one the hard days had convinced me was all I had left. The hard days are not permanent. They are not the destination. They are the terrain. And terrain changes. It is always changed every single time. Keep walking. The terrain is changing even now, even today. Keep walking. The hard days don't last forever. Keep walking. What feels permanent is really just the weather. Every storm that ever found you has a boundary it cannot cross. Keep walking through the hard days. Children of Israel walked the wilderness for longer than a season should have been. And the wilderness was real. I won't romanticize the sand and the complaining and the wondering if the promise was ever gonna come in. But the wilderness had a border. Every wilderness has a border. And the ones who kept on walking found it. Every single one who kept on moving found the other side of it. The ones who stopped were the only ones who didn't. Keep walking. I don't know what your heart looks like right now. I don't know how many days you have been inside this season. I don't know what it has cost you, or what it has taken from you, or how many mornings you have talked yourself into getting up. But I know this, you are still here. And still here means the season has not finished you. Still here means there is more road ahead than there is behind you in this. Still here means the hard days have not had the final word yet. Because the final word belongs to the one who called you through this. And his word is always keep walking. I am with you. Walking. Hey, keep walking. Difficult days, you are closer than you think. You are closer than it feels. Keep walking. Still hard, still heavy. Keep walking. Can't see the end yet. Keep walking. He is ahead of you. He is beside you. He has already been where you are going. Keep walking. The hard days don't last forever. They never do. Keep walking. You remember that day, the one you were certain was gonna be the day you finally ran out of whatever had been holding you together. You remember the feeling in the chest, the way the air felt different, the way the ground beneath you felt like something you couldn't trust. You remember thinking, I don't know how I get through this one. I don't know if I do. And the morning came anyway, not because you figured it out, because something held what you couldn't hold. Something kept the thread from snapping at the moment it was stretched the most. And you woke up on the other side of it, not sure how you got there. And the how doesn't matter nearly as much as the fact that you did. You got there. You made it through. Every day you survived that you thought you wouldn't. That is not coincidence. That is not resilience alone. finished yet, and held you through the night until the morning came. Every single time he held you through. You made it through the day you thought would be the last one standing. You made it through the nights you thought had no intention of ending. Not by accident, not by the strength you had alone, by the grace of a God who never left you on your own. You made it through. Look back and see it. You made it through. I want you to do something that might feel uncomfortable. I want you to count the days you were absolutely certain were gonna break you. Count the seasons you entered, not knowing if you'd exit. Count the moments you were on the floor with nothing left, and then count the mornings after. The mornings are still there, every single one, because you are still here. And still here is the evidence of a faithfulness that never took a day off. The enemy wanted you to believe that the hard days were proof that God had stepped back. But look at the math. Every day that was supposed to finish you didn't. Every night that felt like the end had a morning after it. Every moment you had nothing left, something carried you anyway. That something has a name, and his name is the reason you are reading this right now, the reason you are breathing right now, the reason you made it through. Every single thing that swore it would be the thing that finally took you down, it didn't. You're here, he kept you here, and that is the most important testimony you will ever carry. You made it through. You made it through. Every day that had no visible exit, every season built to break what couldn't break. Not alone, never alone, by the grace that never left your side. You made it through, and you will make it through whatever comes next too, because the God who kept you then is the God who keeps you now. You made it through. You always make it through. Look back, really look back. Count the days you weren't supposed to survive. Now count the mornings after. That's not luck, that's not coincidence, that's him. You made it through. You always make it through, because he never lets go. Not once, not ever. You made it through. I know the moment feels enormous right now. I know it has filled up every room inside your mind. I know it's hard to see around it or beyond it, when the moment is the only thing that you can find. And I'm not here to minimize what happened. I'm not here to tell you that the pain isn't real, but I need you to stay long enough to hear this before the moment gets to make a deal. A bad moment is a moment It was not designed to be a life sentence. A hard day is a day, 24 hours with a beginning and an end. A painful season is a season, and every season in the history of living has eventually turned and changed and given way to something different again. The moment is not the measure of the whole, not even close. Don't let this moment write the verdict on your life. Don't let this hour decide what all the other hours mean. The worst version of today is not a prophecy of tomorrow. It is just today, and today is not forever. It never has been, it never will be. Don't let one bad moment make you give up on a lifetime. Don't let one hard season make you walk away from everything. Don't let it be more than that. Hold on. Peter walked on water until the moment that he looked at what was around him. And the moment swallowed his attention, and the fear rushed in before the faith could catch it, and he sank. But the sinking was a moment, not a conclusion about Peter's whole story. The hand that caught him in the sinking wrote the rest of what his life was for. The moment of the sinking was not the defining chapter, neither is yours. I need you to put down whatever the moment handed you long enough to look at the larger picture. The larger picture includes every morning you have woken up and found a reason to keep going. Every person whose life has been made better because you were in it. Every version of yourself that got back up after something that had every right to keep you down. That person is not defined by this moment. That person is so much larger than this moment. And the life that person was placed here to live is not finished, not because of a bad moment, not because of a hard day, not because of a season that told you lies about your value and your future. Put the moment in its place. It is one moment. Your life is so much more. Don't let one bad moment take what a lifetime still is left to give. Don't let one hard chapter be the reason that you stop deciding how to live. The God who wrote you into being did not write one bad moment as the end. One bad moment, that's all it is. You are so much more than this. Hold on. You are so much more than this. Step back from the moment just for a second. Look at the whole of it, the whole of your life, the whole of what you carry, the whole of what you mean. One bad moment does not get to erase that.